Hey everyone, I want to start with a real example. A friend of mine was taking very high doses of vitamin D3, around 12,000 IU per day, and started experiencing severe muscle spasms. I had the same issue when I was taking 10,000 IU daily. It felt like something was moving under the skin in my leg, and the spasms were visibly obvious. At first, we assumed this was a direct side effect of vitamin D, but the real issue turned out to be magnesium deficiency. If you then take some magnesium, the spasms might not stop since vitamin D intake is too large and it continues to use up all your magnesium in the system. You need to make sure the magnesium intake corresponds to vitamin D intake. I made a vitamin D amount calculator along with magnesium and K2. The link is in the description. Even if your vitamin D blood levels look fine, magnesium is essential because it activates vitamin D in the liver and kidneys. Research confirms that all enzymes involved in vitamin D metabolism require magnesium as a cofactor. This means that without adequate magnesium, vitamin D remains inactive and ineffective regardless of how much you supplement. High doses of vitamin D significantly increase your body's demand for magnesium, and a deficiency can lead to muscle cramps, spasms, and even heart palpitations. Exactly what both my friend and I experienced. Calcium is another important part of the equation. Vitamin D increases calcium absorption from food, which is beneficial for bone health. However, if calcium intake is low, the body may pull calcium from bones. And when magnesium or vitamin K2 levels are insufficient, calcium can be deposited in the wrong places, such as arteries, kidneys, or joints instead of bones. This is why taking large amounts of vitamin D on its own isn't always safe. Vitamin K2 acts like a traffic director for calcium, guiding it into bones and away from soft tissues. Without enough K2, calcium can become misdirected even if vitamin D and calcium intake are high. Several other nutrients support vitamin D function as well. Zinc helps activate the vitamin D receptor and supports immune signaling. Boron assists with magnesium and vitamin D metabolism, and phosphorus works alongside calcium to maintain strong bones. What about high-dose vitamin D for severe deficiency? If you're severely deficient in vitamin D, below 20 nanograms per milliliter, you might wonder whether taking very high doses like 10,000 to 12,000 IU daily is safe or effective. Here's what the research shows. The highest daily dose that has been studied long-term is 10,000 IU per day. A 3-year study of 373 healthy adults found that 10,000 IU daily was generally safe, though it increased the risk of hypercalciuria. Excess calcium in urine. Critical safety point for high doses. If you're taking any dose above 4,000 IU daily, you should increase your magnesium intake proportionally. I created a magnesium and K2 calculator alongside with vitamin D intake. Link is in the description. If you're severely deficient, work with your doctor on a proper loading protocol rather than self-prescribing very high daily doses. You might ask, but sunlight gives way more vitamin D3. How is that not affecting mineral levels? Sunlight is generally safer than high-dose supplementation because the body can self-regulate vitamin D production through the skin. Research shows that once enough vitamin D3 is produced from sun exposure, continued UV exposure causes its photodegradation into inactive compounds, naturally preventing overproduction. Supplements bypass this natural control mechanism, which is why excessive doses carry greater risk. You might wonder if it's better to take vitamin D in smaller doses spread throughout the day rather than all at once. The short answer is, it doesn't really matter. Vitamin D3 is fat-soluble, which means it gets stored in your body's fat tissue and liver, then released gradually over time. Whether you take 2000 IU once in the morning or split it into two 1000 IU doses won't significantly affect your blood levels or how your body uses it. That said, taking your vitamin D with a meal containing fat helps with absorption, so consistency matters more than timing. The same principle applies to magnesium. While some people find splitting magnesium into 2 doses helps with absorption and reduces digestive discomfort, it's not strictly necessary. The key is making sure your total daily intake of both nutrients is adequate and balanced. Focus on getting enough magnesium to support whatever dose of vitamin D you're taking, rather than worrying too much about when exactly you take them. What about kids and vitamin D supplements? Children absolutely can benefit from vitamin D supplementation, especially if they live in northern climates, spend most of their time indoors, or have darker skin that produces less vitamin D from sunlight. However, their needs are quite different from adults. For infants up to 12 months, 400 IU per day is typically recommended. Children aged 1 to 18 generally need around 600 to 1000 IU daily, though some pediatricians recommend up to 1000 to 2000 IU during winter months or for children with known deficiency. The same cofactor principles apply to children. They need adequate magnesium, calcium, and vitamin K2 for vitamin D to work properly and safely. Fortunately, if children are eating a balanced diet with dairy products, leafy greens, nuts, and whole grains, they're likely getting these nutrients naturally. Liquid vitamin D3 drops are convenient for younger children and can be mixed into food or drinks. Just as with adults, more isn't better. Excessive vitamin D in children can lead to calcium imbalance and kidney problems. Always consult with a pediatric EN before starting supplements, especially if your child has any health conditions or is taking other medications. Vitamin D3 is fat-soluble, so it's best taken in oil-based capsules, such as those containing fish oil or MCT oil. Magnesium glycinate is a well-absorbed form of magnesium and often easier on the stomach. The main takeaway is this: more vitamin D3 is not always better. Magnesium and vitamin K2 are essential for it to work safely and effectively. Paying attention to these cofactors and monitoring your levels can help you supplement wisely without unwanted side effects.